Hi, friends. Welcome back. I'm TS, in case you don't know. And we knew that 2025 was going to be a doozy of a year. They wrote a 900-page book about what they were going to do. And at this point, they are already 50% complete on those projects. And every week, sometimes day to day, we had unprecedented acts of violence, authoritarianism, and absurdity. So let's speed run through the interesting, shocking, and sometimes horrendous things that happened in 2025. This is the most compact, filtered down overview I could possibly make with the shortest possible runtime. I narrowed 13 pages down to 2 for this video. I already made this video once and it ended up being an hour and a half long. And I think that's one of the main reasons why it only got one view. So, no further ado, let's get into 2025. And it started in January, like most years do, but it started with a bang, pun intended, with two tragedies. The New Orleans attack. A guy drove a truck into a crowd and killed like 15 people. And later on in the morning of January 1st, we had the Vegas Cybertruck explosion, luckily only killing the troubled domestic terrorist driver of that vehicle. And that just seems a little on the nose. The Tesla in front of the Trump Hotel was just, it was a thing that most year-end videos that I've watched so far don't even mention either one of those things. It just came and went. That first day of January just kicked off with a bang. Next, we had the inauguration where Elon Musk did his little tribute. Also, that very same day, the president signed over 200 executive orders, including pardoning the January 6th criminals, which was a precedent that he wanted to set, that this is the way things are going to be now, and including the Gulf of America, which I just can't even make the words come out of my mouth. It's so stupid and so unimportant, but it's such a staple of the mentality of this whole administration's mindset. We also had an executive order kicking off DOGE, the Department of Greedy Embezzlers, which is not something you can do with an executive order. You're supposed to have Congress is the only person that can make departments in government. But these are the new times. Those were the rules from the before times. And that's just not how things are going to work around here anymore. So get used to that. The Tesla protests, when Mushy started destroying everything about the soft power that the United States has around the world and killing USAID, people started burning his cars on the car lots. And so we had a little fire sale where Trump did his used car salesman bit to try to sell some Teslas to the American people. It's all computer. That Signalgate was the first scandal for this administration, and old Petey the Patriot Keg's breath should have been fired right then and there. But I think Trump tries to pretend like he sees a little bit of something in him, of himself in that guy, and so he's not going anywhere. Robert Kennedy, another one of the people that became the head of Human Health and Services. in charge of the CDC and the FDA and the EPA and all of the things that relate to the health of the American people. He was told by the president to just go wild on health. So he got his own acronym, MAHA, Make America Healthy Again. And this anti-vax ex-heroin addict wackadoo that eats roadkill and supposedly has a worm in his brain is going to tell us what's healthy. And that's all been going bad for the rest of the year. Maybe I'll get back into some of that later. We had the $5 million immigration gold card. Remember that one? He just likes to take every idea that he gets and just throws them against the wall and sees what gets traction. And if he gets too much pushback, things will just disappear like Homer Simpson into the bushes. The $400 million bribery plane from Qatar. That was a thing. We're still trying to find out stuff about that. On April 28th, a little, not Trump news, but no less tragic. Spain and Portugal had a huge blackout. Katy Perry went to space. The vice president killed the Pope. And so we got a new woke Pope. The first American Pope from Chicago, Pope Leo. The big bullshit bill passed. Tariffs are on and then they're off and then they're on and then they're off. And we don't know what's going to happen there. Creating chaos in the financial markets around the world. It's rug pulled the stock market 2 or 3 times because of these tariffs, and a lot of people got rich, especially from insider trading inside of Congress. TikTok, the ban was on, and then the ban was off, and then the ban was on, and then it was off again, and it finally went down for like 12 hours, and then when it came back, there was a little banner that said, "Thank you, President Trump, for saving TikTok," which it's like it's like starting a house fire and then bringing the people a fire extinguisher. He did it. He's the one that did it. He didn't save anything. He just went back on his word about what he was going to do. Ambushed President Zelensky in the Oval Office in regards to the Ukraine thing, basically trying to make him look like it was his fault that he then got invaded. In May, Elon finally leaves Doge, and in some ways that took longer than I thought it was going to, with those egos clashing. In some ways I thought it would last a little longer than just a couple of months, but there we go. The damage was done though. And in his final mic drop moment, so he thought, he said that Donald's name is in the Epstein files, and duh, we all know that. Like, this is, if you see his name on some flight log, that's going to be the line for you, not with all of the other stuff that he's been doing. It's so dumb, but it somehow dominated the whole year after that, and we're still seeing tricklings of the files coming out. More on that probably later. The ICE raids begin. That's another thing that just dominated the rest of the year. Starting in LA, sparked protests, and then that leapfrogged into No King's Day, where 7 million people showed up around the country to protest his pathetic little ego birthday parade on June 14th. It was a complete disaster, and to lick his wounds from that, they bombed Iran with the bunker busters, biggest bombs I think that we've ever made on this planet, besides atomic weapons, but super expensive, super unhelpful in that region. And I guess that's one country that will not have a Trump golf course or a hotel anytime soon. Also, early in the summer, we had Alligator Alcatraz, where Governor Ron DeSantis co-signed because he is just so desperate to be let back into the cool kids club. Grok, Mushy's online AI chatbot, went a little fashy, started calling himself Mecha Hitler, and pulled all the military support from Ukraine, yet we went all in on liberating the war-ravaged Portland, and then now Minnesota, but we'll get to that. The LA fires were devastating, and people got the class war a little mixed up in that. I've talked about it in other videos, but these people weren't millionaires. Most of them were not millionaires. They were just normal people that the only thing they had in the world was the equity that they had in that property, because their family had luckily or fortuitously moved to those areas in the 50s and 60s when a lot of migration hadn't happened yet, and they could get homes for cheap. And some of those people just lost everything, like 100-year legacies in those parts of the countries. And that being said, millionaires are not the problem. I would like to be rich someday. I don't think there's a problem with having a couple of $1 million, even a couple $100,000, even $100 million. $100 million, you are still closer to living on the street than you are to being a billionaire. Billionaires are the problem. Abolish billionaires. Anyway, back into my list here. Europe had the worst wildfire season on record. Wildfires in France, Greece, Albania, and even Ukraine. Texas flash flood killed 130 people on the Guadalupe River. We had Colorado wildfires. All the while, NOAA and FEMA were being gutted. Italy had a volcano, Myanmar earthquake, Jamaica hurricane, the Taiwan typhoon. But the northern lights were just spectacular, even as far down as we are, halfway down America, crossed I-70. They just lit up the north sky, pinks and greens, and oh my God, it was beautiful. Anyway, South Carolina banned chemtrails, which I'm not sure exactly how that's going to work, because how do you ban a conspiracy theory that can't be proven? We had radioactive rhinoceros tusks. We had radioactive wasps. We had radioactive shrimp in the Walmarts. We had the Skydance merger with CBS. They caused all kinds of problems because amidst that capitulation, Stephen Colbert was fired for saying that that was all just a big bribe, because in our mafia president, everything is a bribe and everything is everything is transactional. Meanwhile, South Park signed a $1.5 billion deal with these same companies and then went to town on Trumple Thin Skin and his whole band of lunatics, and those company can't do anything about it. Even if the big guy came down and said, "Get rid of them, we don't like it," they can't. All right, we'll take our $1.5 billion and fuck right off, because they don't give a shit. Meanwhile, Gavin Newsom increased his trolling, making posts and that mimicked the style of the big guy. They decided to paint the wall black. How many millions of dollars is that going to cost us to paint the wall black? Because somebody found out that dark colors absorb more heat, so they will be too hot to climb. I mean, we don't have brain surgeons in charge right now. It's just everything is. There's no batter circle for ideas anymore. It's just, you got a dumb idea? Batter up! Anyway, moving on. The Cracker Barrel rebrand caused a little kerfuffle. The right tried to make this some sort of cultural issue somehow, and people on the left were like, "Oh, okay. I mean, it's dumb, but who the fuck goes to Cracker Barrel anyway?" Fun fact, the cracker on the barrel is named Herschel. And you can remember that name because they went back to the old logo. So they didn't actually get rid of the cracker or the barrel. Other cultural issues that were manufactured was the Sydney Sweeney American Eagle, where the right was projecting on the left this outrage that we're supposed to have because we get it. Genes like DNA and like your blue jeans and like your eyes are blue and whatever. Sydney Sweeney's hot, but certain aspect she's just kind of mid. And the go anti-woke, go broke. Fuck, I fucked up the slogan. Go anti-woke, go broke. Because she had 4 movies that came out this year and all of them tanked, which may not entirely be her fault because almost all the movies that came out this year flopped. And there was no summer songs. All of the big songs this whole year and mostly in the summer were all holdovers from 2024. And the most exciting song of the summer was Ordinary by Alex Warren. And it's the most milquetoast, lame-ass, stomp, clap, hey, ballad, Imagine Dragons, acoustic Imagine Dragons bullshit that you've ever heard. And so, yeah. Anyway, 2025, we have to talk about AI a little bit. A company released the first commercially released robot, which I don't care, so I didn't even write down what company that was. AI bands got a lot of views because people are curious, and it's all just garbage. It's all just slop. There's no artistry, obviously. There's no humanity in any of it. All the rough edges are smoothed down on all of this AI stuff. And I believe that younger people can hear the difference already. A lot of us olds, we can tell some things, but as the uncanny valley gets smaller and smaller, we're going to be able to tell less and less. And I can almost instantly tell when a video is AI, but unless it's really, really terrible and there's a lot of artifacts and stuff, I can't really tell when a song is AI. Just that its first clue is that it's just utterly bland garbage. But old Zuck released his Meta glasses and they were a complete failure. The Minister of Albania is AI generated. So there we go. We got actual elected officials. I don't know if they were even elected. Actual officials in government. I guess ministry. I don't know if it was government. But there's people holding offices that are AI now. It's ridiculous. The first AI actress, Tilly Norwood, I think is her name. We'll see how that goes. If anybody goes to see movies with AI characters in them. The World Robot Conference and the World Humanoid Robot Games were held. 16 countries participated and over 500 robots. And I saw some videos of the race that they were running, and those robots were just glitching out and running in circles and falling over and running into, just stuck on the wall like a bad video game character. In China, it was Robot Month. I guess I didn't write down what month that was, but one of the months this year was Robot Month. Anyway, moving on. AI is just going to get more and more badly, so we'll get back to some of that in later videos. In Paris, we had the Louvre jewelry heist, broad daylight. A couple of guys just took a Land Mover that was there and used it to get up, and then just kind of went in the side of the wall and went in and just took what they wanted. And I think they've found a couple of them, but they haven't found all of them, and they haven't found the loot yet either. So that was kind of a crazy thing. In September, it was quiet politically for like 4 days in a row. And in these times we're having now, 4 days without that orange monster being on TV, like inserting himself into our lives, was enough to people start thinking that maybe it happened. Maybe it happened. But those hopes were crushed when he reappeared to give an unhinged speech at the UN. And that UN appearance also gave us Escalator Gate, where the teleprompter and the escalator both failed him. And so he had quite a bit to say about all of that. And nothing he said was relevant. Nothing he said was true. And it was just a totally unhinged speech. All the generals and admirals from all of the armies, U.S. armies around the world, were summoned by the Department of War Crimes to a meeting that could have been an email. But we had to have old Petey the Patriot give his little speech about no fatties in the military anymore and no scrubs in the military anymore. And it was basically just a press hype meeting to rebrand the Department of Defense to the Department of War, because the guy that wants a peace prize so bad has to have a department called the Department of War. And we see why now, in hindsight, why he wanted to call it the Department of War, because he intends to make war with everybody around the world and everybody within our own country. All right, enough editorializing. Let's keep moving on. More ICE raids. Chicago, war-ravaged Portland, like I said, and by the end of the year, Minneapolis. 7 major cities, at least, have now been terrorized by ICE and the National Guard in some instances. Fox host suggests lethal injection for the homeless. Oh, and we also had the rapture. Remember the rapture? Remember the rapture? Didn't happen. Doesn't exist. Never going to happen because it doesn't exist. Even if you believe in that religion and you believe in that book of myths, it's not even in there. The rapture is not in the Bible. So every couple of years we get some wackadoodle that wants to predict the rapture, and everybody sells all of their possessions and goes and lives on it. I've been doing this since the middle of the 1800s, and it's just so ridiculous. A bigoted podcast grifter gets shot in the neck. Therefore, Jimmy Kimmel gets fired for a minute. Deportations escalate to the El Salvador super prison. And by the end of the year, most of those people end up being brought back to the U.S. Traumatized for sure. But we'll see how that all plays out later on. Tylenol causes autism. Oh, I forgot my little joke. I always do the acetate. Tylenol. Tylenol causes autism. Yeah, I'm glad we figured that one out. Nothing bad can happen. It can only good happen. Israel attacks everyone. Nepal overthrows their government. In fact, at least 7 other countries are overthrown by their Gen Z population, which is great to see. Finland is voted the happiest country to live in the world for the 8th year in a row. In October, we had the longest government shutdown in history because, of course, we did, because these people don't know how to run government. They don't know how to run companies, and they don't know how to run a government. We had lots of AI videos being shared by that dumbass in chief. The med beds one cracked me up. That's an old QAnon conspiracy that they're keeping these med beds from us that just heal everything from cancer to skin ailments to any disease that you may get. I think some people even say that they can grow back limbs if you're missing limbs, and it's just such AI slop. So dumb. We got the Argentina bailout while our farmers suffer from the tariffs because China is not buying our soybeans anymore. But we're going to bail out Argentina's farmers. That sounds about right. No Kings Protest 2.0 was as much of a rallying success as the first one. People are getting angry. And we're going to start doing some shit about it. He demolished the east wing of the White House. Pictures of the White House now are just a perfect embodiment of what this administration is doing to government and the country and the world and the future. It's just free for all. Just tear it down if you get a wild hair up your ass. But he's going to get his ballroom. Even though he wants to canceled Snap for like 3 million misfortunate Americans while having a huge Great Gatsby party at Mar-a-Lago. And we already know that we're in the new Gilded Age, but even that is a little on the nose, I think. Mamdani, a little bit of good news. Zoran Mamdani is elected the mayor of New York. And so that's going to be all good. There's rumors of Usha and Erica Kirk, a little love triangle between the vice president, well, allegedly, but the way she hugged him and grabbed the back of his head, they either are fucking or they want to be fucking. So that nobody grabs somebody's head when they're hugging them like that if there's not something going on. It's just, yeah. Marjorie Taylor Greene quits Congress supposedly on January 5th, 2026, which makes exactly 5 years since she was elected into Congress. And coincidentally, 5 years is what it takes to get your government pension from being in Congress. You have to be an active congressman for 5 years before your pension kicks in. But we know she's not real worried about her pension because of insider trading. She went into office with a net worth of like $750,000, and she left office with like $30 million. In 5 years, she went from $800,000 to $30 million. You're not going to tell me that's not insider trading. The Hong Kong high-rise fire, which surprisingly, after that first day, I haven't heard anything else about it. I don't know if it's just because of the way China suppresses the news coming out of there, if the government was a little embarrassed that something like that could happen, but I'm curious of what the aftermath of the high-rise fire in Hong Kong is. And thank God we made it to December, where he got his Peace Prize finally. FIFA invented a Peace Prize for him. And he looked like an 8-year-old getting his first participation trophy, pulling it out of the box and putting it on his little head. It was so cute. And the only known recipient of the FIFA Peace Prize in history so far, and probably ever. The reason for this capitulation is not surprising. The World Cup is coming to the Americas in 2026, and this is a little way to grease the wheels a little bit, because FIFA is going to be bringing a lot of brown people from all over the world into this country next year, and they don't want any trouble with ICE. So give him a little Peace Prize and maybe they won't fuck with him too much. He put his name on the Kennedy Center. He's been messing with the Kennedy Center since day one, but he fired all of the people on the board and got his own people in there, and then his loyalists on the board now controlled the board, so they elected him the head of the board. See how that works? You just you appoint your people, and your people appoint you the leader, and then all's good, right? So people are protesting and not like boycotting, that's the word I'm looking for, boycotting performing at the Kennedy Center until this is all over. But one day he just got a hair up his ass and he decided he's going to put his name in front of Kennedy's name, and it's just ridiculous. Once again, only Congress can change the name of organizations and buildings, and this is so dumb. So dumb. New Mexico voted in universal health care. Huh? You could just do that? They could just do that? All this time, they could have just done that? They could just do that everywhere? Way to go, New Mexico. That's freaking awesome. Hopefully that's a trend that will continue on in other states. We had the Vanity Fair portraits. That was fun. Seeing all of these lunatics and monsters in their true light. The guy that took the pictures was like, hey, I just point the camera and take the pictures. I'm not the one that makes them look the way they look. So that was a little bit of levity there for a little bit. Kind of made everybody feel good. The same way all of the videos of ICE agents slipping on actual ice. Just little moments of levity and peace in this crazy, crazy world that we're living in right now. He announced sometime in 2026 we're going to be doing the Hunger Games. He called it the Patriot Games, but the rules are the same. If you've ever seen the dystopian movie The Hunger Games, which, that's a thing that's real now, as is like the UFC. Is it UFC or wrestling? Wrestling is more dumb, so they're going to have wrestling on the White House lawn for the 4th of July. So, yay! Monster Truck, Monster Energy, Kid Rock presidency is in full bloom. Idiocracy is here, folks. The end of the year when Congress reassembled, whatever, came back from vacation. The longest year of vacations for Congress, because Mike Johnson, anytime he freaks out about something and doesn't think he can control what's going on the left side of the House, will just put everybody on vacation. Just, okay, we're all going home, even though there's stuff that we need to deal with. But when they reunited, it was a unanimous vote to release the Epstein files for good. And I'm talking 434 to 1. One person voted not to release the Epstein files. And I'm sure that one person will be primaried in November. And as soon as they released them, it just, people were making videos showing, like, here's all of the Epstein files that got released. And they were just redacted to where it was just solid pages of black. And in the true stupidity of these people, it was so easily, somebody figured out, some industrious fellow figured out that you could just repost it over into Word and unredact it. So it shows you what level of, we're just working on this level of, it's like one of these graphs are like this, and on this axis is stupid, and on this axis is evil. And they're just working at maximum evil, maximum stupidity for everything that they're doing. So I'm glad to have purged all that stuff from my brain. Because when I learn about something, I write it down and I know it. And if I know about something, then I have to talk about it. And when I talk about it, you get to hear about it. So whether you knew all these things or not, maybe my little editorializing and adding is a little fun. But pray for what we get in 2026. If you made it this far, I love you so much. YouTube has been real weird lately, and so I've only been getting a few views on each video. So if you watch this far into the video, please leave me an emoji or leave me a comment or something in the comments to let me know that you watched it, and hang on for more videos. I've got tons and tons of stuff coming. I finally broke my spell of procrastinating videos as much as I was before, and yeah, all that stuff. So like I said, subscribe and share and comment, do all of the YouTube things, and I'll see you on the next one. Love you. Bye.